This earthquake does seem very similar to the one we saw 7 years ago in L'Aquila, that devastating earthquake. How do they compare for you?
Right. The magnitude of this earthquake this morning is a little bit lower than the one of L'Aquila in 2009, but both earthquakes occur in an active, seismically active area of Italy. This is the most active region of Italy regarding earthquake. And Italy itself is a country in Western Europe which is most subject to earthquakes. Now, the next critical hours will be determined in terms of the toll. As you said, unfortunately, the death toll might rise because the epicenter, the focus of the earthquake, was shallow. It was only 5 kilometers beneath the surface of the earth, which is what we call a shallow earthquake. This area is an area of housing which is not earthquake resistant, unfortunately. The population is not very well prepared, probably, to the occurrence of earthquakes. So I think the next hours will be critical. This is an area where seismic activity is caused by micro movements of plates. And that explains, the earthquake.
Is this area on a fault line at all, or is it just these plates?
Well, it is not on a major fault line. It is not on a plate, on a tectonic plate, but it is on a what we call secondary fault, many secondary faults, and it is located onto many microplates which move, which have seismic activity on a permanent way.
How bad could the aftershocks be? We heard Josephine, they're already talking about some aftershocks. Could there be more? How long would they last?
Well, aftershocks are normal occurrences. They are, and they will continue to be weaker than the main shock. Up to now, we have recorded about 60 aftershocks. All of them are certainly of a much lower magnitude. We should expect much more aftershocks in the next 24 or even 48 hours or even several days. So the occurrence of aftershocks is normal, but we should not expect a higher magnitude of the aftershocks.
You mentioned before about these houses, these buildings not all being earthquake proofed. Is there anything really that can be done to earthquake proof homes like these?
Of course, if we design houses which can resist earthquakes, we can reduce because after all, it is not the earthquake which kills. It is the houses which are badly conceived, badly constructed, which fall upon the head of the inhabitants. So in Italy and in other seismic active countries, we should take into consideration that housing should be earthquake-proof, that we should design infrastructure, we should get population prepared. We cannot predict the occurrence of an earthquake. We cannot predict the hour and the day. But what we can do to face earthquake risk is to have good houses, good constructions, well-prepared populations, good hospitals, etc.
Were no lessons learned from that devastating quake of 2009? They couldn't have reinforced these houses that fell today?
Well, each earthquake brings with it own lessons. I'm sure that the Italians, the authorities, have drawn lesson from the earthquake which occurred in 2009 in L'Aquila. And as a matter of fact, at that time, even there has been scientists which were sued because they were accused of not able to predict the earthquake, which was, I think, an unfair accusation. But anyway, I think we should keep in mind that earthquakes is a science, earthquake risk is a science which is continuously being improved by the lessons that we draw from the occurrence of the earthquake. Now, Italian authorities, Italian civil defense are very well equipped. They have good knowledge, they have good experience. I expect and I hope that they will be facing the situation in the next few hours.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Badouri Rouban, for sharing your expertise with us. You're a special advisor on natural sciences at the UN. Thank you.